get this going as well. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the That's Football channel. We are live now, 2 a.m. in the morning, UK time. Scotland, Haiti. Here we go. And I was just looking at the stadium here as the players walk out the tunnel. Scotland not in their traditional blue or dark blue, but this is the first World Cup game where it's in the dark. We're in Boston, but it's a night game, which in my stupidity, I had absolutely forgotten that we will get games that are played at night, because every game's been played in the day. But of course, we are in Boston, which is about 5 hours behind UK time. So they'll be kicking off at around 9 p.m. So it's dark, and we will get some games like that. So here we are as the players walk out onto the pitch. Just a reminder to YouTubers who are watching, YouTube viewers, sorry, we are sponsored on this show tonight by BOYLE Sports again. Now, if you don't know about BOYLE Sports, they're sponsoring some of our watchalongs during this tournament. I've put my bet builder together. It is 2 a.m, so having a little bit of a bet builder adds something to the game for me. So basically what a bet builder is you put a few scenarios from the game together to build a bet to get your odds up. So I've got Scotland to win, Shea Adams to score any time, over 3.5 goals, over 6.5 corners, and Pierre to be booked. So that's my 5. We'll see how they go on. What do you think about mine? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget, bet today with BOYLE Sports and you'll get a 50% bet boost on top. So however you construct your bet builder with BOYLE Sports, they'll give you a 50% boost on top of that as well. So check it out. Also, we've got quiz time for you. World Cup themed as always throughout the tournament. How good is your knowledge? Who scored an iconic overhead kick to secure Scotland's qualification for the World Cup back in November? Quite easy, that one. And also, don't forget with BOYLE Sports, we've got a great offer for you. If you place an outright bet on someone to win the tournament for £20 or more, every time that team wins during the tournament, you'll get £5 back in free bets. So if you bet £20 on Scotland winning the whole tournament, or Brazil, or England, every time they win a game, you get a £5 free bet back. So if you'd betted £20 with BOYLE Sports for Brazil to win the tournament, if they'd beaten Morocco today, you would have got another £5 back in free bets. That's how it works. Make sure you put your loyalty and patriotism aside and pick with clarity of thought. The World Cup, BOYLE Sports are reminding you of that. As always, it's 18 plus UK and Ireland only. Please bet responsibly. Terms and conditions are in the description and via the QR code. Right, let's have a look at the teams. I will straight away admit I've got absolutely no idea who plays for Cape Verde. And that doesn't matter because they're not playing. Haiti. We are in Boston. We have the lineup on the screen for you there. Starting off with Scotland. Gunn in goal. Hickey, Hendry, Hanley, Robertson. Gannon, Duac, McTominay, Ferguson, McGinn, Shankland and Adams. Tyler Fletcher of Man United is on the bench. And then for Haiti, you've got Placide, Arcus, Addy, Delcroix, Experience, Providence, Bellegarde, Jean-Jacques, Deedson, Pierre and Isidore. So there we are. And let me just double check something here. Okay, let me have a look. Sorry, I've just got to send this message. There we go. Okay, players are having a shake of the hand there. Haiti is North America. Yeah, I mean, look, there is an education piece in some of these games, like I say. I mean, who is Haiti's best player is a question. You've got Pierre, Francie Pierrot, who I don't know who he plays for. Their best ranked players on FC26 are actually women. Top 3. So they're doing well. Yeah, I don't know. This is one of the more difficult teams to sort of hype up, Haiti. It really is about Scotland scoring a load of goals tonight because I don't know anything about them. And the chat's sort of like doing question marks as well. Isidore plays for Sunderland. Good point. Yeah. And Bellegarde plays for Wolves. There we go. The chat will always help us out. What Scotland have got to be very careful about in this game is that they don't get done like Qatar did Switzerland, because they need to get the points with Morocco and Brazil in that group as well. Sorry, I'm just trying to sort of grasp anything about Haiti. It's very difficult. But yeah, it's all about Scotland, that basically. Right, there we go. Hilarious, Josh. Let me get rid of you. So funny. Block. There we go. Goldbridge is struggling to stay awake. You know what? You know when I do late streams, people seem to get obsessed with my ability to stay awake, and yet I always do it, and I always do the streams. I think you're projecting your own inability to stay awake. I used to work until 7 o'clock in the morning for years, so staying up till 4 o'clock in the morning is a piece of piss for me. I was actually just trying to read about Haiti. But if you want to go to bed, come back at 4 o'clock. We'll still be here. We'll still be here. And hopefully we're going to get a goal fest because I'm focused now. I was just trying to find out something about Haiti. Kenzo says, Kenzo says, really enjoyed the Brazil game. What did you think? I thought the first half was good. I thought the second half was a bit of a struggle, if I'm being honest. It felt a little bit like a group game, a little bit like what USA did yesterday. First half, they basically won the game. Second half, they made a few subs and went through the motions. And I think Brazil and Morocco in the second half, if that would have been a knockout game, we might have seen we might have seen something a bit different, but yeah, there's Scott McTominay. So we're in Boston. I mean, look, you know what? Everybody who's saying there's lots of empty seats, I think today they've been sat down, literally. There are just not many empty seats. Even Switzerland, Qatar, which had 67,000 people in it. So Do you watch Scottish football at all, Mark? I'm a Celtic fan and you've always been fair about Scottish teams, says Stacey. Don't really. I mean, I did watch a little bit of the Hearts-Celtic game just to see if history was going to be made, but I don't really watch it, but I'm hoping. I mean, am I right in saying that Scotland smashed somebody in the in one of their final games before that? Shankland's good. Had a very good season for Hearts. He's now signed for Rangers. How's your neck, Mark? It is a bit better. They beat someone 4-0, says Jordan Jones. Yes, they did. Thanks for everyone who's given us a follow on TikTok, by the way. Do you think Australia will beat Turkey? You never know. I mean, I'm not watching that game. It's at 5 o'clock. But you never know. You never know because Turkey have come into tournaments before as dark horses and, you know, they have struggled. They beat Bolivia 4-0. This group could come down to goal difference as well. Haiti goalie looks like KSI's bodyguard. Nothing like ice cold. That was from Kenzo, not me. Nothing like ice cold Stella and World Cup, says Constantine. Enjoy. And the Haiti goalkeeper used to play for Oldham and now plays in the second division in France. That's the general level of the quality they've got, Ian. Yeah, well, I think I don't want to tempt fate for Scotland, but what they need to do is try and get an early goal, definitely get the 3 points, and not get frustrated, because a point for Haiti would be, you know, amazing. Is your upper back any better, Denise? It is a little bit better, yes. Sorry, I've got a few super chats to catch up with here. I didn't realise. Kenzo, we've done that. Jimmy Cranky or Ian Cranky, says Chubby. You can't beat a bit of the Crankies. Who's this McTominay guy? Reckon United sign him, says Just Pasty. Well, they're on the attack here with McGinn. Cuts it back in. This could be it. Could have been it. It was a good chance. I think it was Shankland. And it was blocked. Medical Bunker says Scotland are going to tear Haiti apart. -2 handicap. And what an epic stadium, says Nick P. Yeah, we're in Boston here. Scotland will run Haiti ragged here. 3-0 minimum, says Constantine. I'm not doing Australia against Turkey, no. And Snoopy 10 says, I hope McTominay does well. Cheers from Canada. Still can't believe Qatar drew with the Swiss. And it was probably a dodgy penalty for the Swiss as well, Sads. Charlie's still buzzing after the USA performance last night. Just Pasty says, Goldbridge out, give us Neville. He's overslept. Okay. Levi Sports, thank you. Yeah, if it goes anything like last night, we might get a few weird comments tonight. I think it's something about, you know, the lateness. Haiti had a shot there from distance. I'll tell you what, first 5 minutes here, pretty promising. Pretty promising. Quite an open game. And would you... I just wonder what my phone's doing then. Oh, it's updating. Would you like to go to any of the World Cup games? That was a handball there. Let's give it a throw in anyway. Kate says, what games are you doing next Wednesday? What, the Wednesday coming up? Definitely in England. Yeah, I agree. I think it's been a good game so far. Thanks for the follows, Ali. Appreciate that. I'd like to see Tyler Fletcher get some minutes. Good cross into the box there, and McTominay rose like a salmon and heads it over. I think that, hi Lord Steve, I would like to see Tyler Fletcher come on because I really haven't seen much about him in a Man United shirt. So, but first goal McTominay would be useful. How's your shoulder doing, says Lord Steve. It is actually a little bit better now. It was absolute agony this morning. I don't know whether anyone's ever done it. If you've ever pulled a muscle in your neck or your shoulder. Good tempo to the game, though, in the first few minutes. I don't really like Scotland playing in salmon, and I don't really know why they couldn't have played in their normal kit, considering Haiti are playing all in white, but answers on a postcard with that one. It just can't be a... It can't be a kit clash. Might be a few nerves in the Scottish fan base at the moment because Haiti have come out looking quite energetic. It's like any game when you're the strong favourite, you know, you just want to get that goal, get yourself in front. They've got to open up a little bit. Mancini, Mankin Chicago says, good to see you on my time zone. I hope you're well. You too, pal. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. And Liam O'Neill says on TikTok, it's crazy how much McTominay has gotten since he left United. Did you hear about the England team theft? Says, God. Did you hear about the England team theft? Says, I can't even read that name. Mate, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Ieremias. Yeah, got no idea what your name is, mate. I wouldn't even like to guess. Haiti aren't that big of an underdog, priced at 155. That gives them only a 65% win chance, says 5 Amarito. God, some of these names are crap. Fair play staying up, says True Gent. I'm not a bloody nurse. It's not that difficult to stay up until 4 o'clock in the morning. I think some of you youth today, you've got no idea. GB says, I genuinely respect the work you do and it doesn't go unnoticed. Let's go England. Please give a shout out to my friend Matt. There we go. Thank you very much, G. Come on, Haiti. Scotland, says Adam. Do you have the NBA game on second screen? Knicks can win their first title in 50 years. Biggest fan base in the league would be incredible, says Mango. I am going to turn it on at some point. But how long is a piece of string? How long is How long is an NBA game? Haven't seen the McSauce bunny hop since he left United, says Anthony. And Richie says, how do you like the extra knockout round? Does it devalue the group stage, or is it overall better to have more do-or-die games? I don't know. I think we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it's a long tournament. But you know what? People can moan about it, but none of the countries moaned about it, did they? You know, I didn't see Brazil or France or England saying that we don't want another extra game. So everyone's taking their money. Hamza says, things you like and don't like about this World Cup. For me, I like the light atmosphere of the games and how teams who used to be small now are competing against the best. I don't like the politics this year. Well, that's why this channel's the best channel to watch the World Cup with, because we don't do the politics. Things I like about this World Cup, I absolutely love the fact that every game I've watched so far, I've never looked at the clock and gone, oh my God, we've only had 2 minutes. It's like every game is flowing so fast. And I've always said, and I know a lot of other people agree with me on this, the best officials are the ones that you don't know their names. And apart from the opening game where there was 3 red cards, we haven't really spoken about the referees because they're just making the game flow. It's very similar to the Bundesliga in the sense that the games just flow really, really well. Drew says, I watch United Stand every day, but haven't been here live in a while. Who's your favourite to win the cup? England. Player of the tournament? Kane. Leremia is Jeremiah in Romanian. Hi from Chicago. But that's not an L, that's an I at the start. That's where I was confused. If he had an L at the start, I would have read that. But it's definitely an I. And I've got my glasses on. Phobo Toast says, which England game are you least looking forward to? Please give a shout out to Harvey Wilson. I think that we've got Croatia first, then Ghana. So I think the Panama game will be the most irrelevant game because we'll have qualified. I think some of the third group's games will be quite dull in the sense that teams will have already qualified. So unless it's hugely beneficial for them to top the group, I think you'll see a lot of rotation because it's a big tournament, isn't it? So if you're France or England or Portugal and you've got to play an extra knockout game, I think you'll see a lot of rotation. Logic says Bundesliga need to give you a raise, promo immaculate. Yeah, but you know, I know not all of them. Not all of you got to watch all the Bundesliga watch-alongs because it was UK and Ireland only. But legitimately, you'd watch a Bundesliga game on a Friday night, you watch a Premier League game on a Saturday, and it was like watching football in slow play in the Premier League. So stop-start, so slow. And that's nothing to do with German football or English football. That's to do with the officials. And good cross into the box for Haiti there. And he wanted a corner, but he actually got up very well, Isidore, and headed it just wide. Yeah, it's nothing to do with the quality of the football. It's to do with the officials making sure the game flows. And we've definitely seen that in the World Cup. MC says Scotland are a bit nervy. JK, no, I don't read the TikTok comments. Hamza says, why Haiti playing well and pressing, not expected? I've got to be honest, I didn't expect them to do as well as they have done in the first 15 minutes, but it is early in the game. And also, we did talk about this before the game. Scotland, I mean, they were showing a clip before, I think it was the 1986 World Cup, the third group game. Scotland needed to win to go through. They were playing Uruguay. Uruguay got a man sent off in the first 60 seconds and it still finished 0-0. So Scotland do have a little bit of a history of, you know, choking a little bit at major tournaments. And their nervousness could be, you know, it's their first World Cup since 1998. 28 years. They just need to settle their nerves a little bit. And also, they know they've got to win this game. With Morocco and Brazil to come, if they want to get through to the knockouts, they've got to win this game. But their nerves will settle if they can get in front. This is good play down the right-hand side for Scotland, but... Oh, I thought he'd scored. Did he hit the post? McTominay? Or was it a block? Now it's Haiti on the attack. He hit the post, McTominay there. There wasn't much of a reaction to that. Oh, what a lovely cross in. Outside of the foot cross by Haiti there, and if he'd have got it, he's like saying, I've done my job here. This is the McTominay chance. Nah, he's hit that well. He's hit the post. It's incredible the amount of teams that haven't figured out that you have to track McTominay. He's almost like a Scottish Lampard on how he arrives into the box unopposed, even in a United shirt. Thanks for all the follows on TikTok. Do I miss Scott McTominay, Mohammed? No. I'm very pleased for him that it's worked out in Napoli, but it was definitely the right move for us. A good question here from Ben Hewish. He says, what do you think is the group of death? Can I just say we've got 7,500 people watching on YouTube. Absolute legends. Thanks everyone on TikTok for all the follows as well. Please do share the video and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Haiti not looking bad, says Trevor. Thanks, Trev. You don't get many Trevors now, do you? You don't get many Garys. Names that you don't get much of anymore. Garys, Stephen, Trevors. I mean, this was literally most of the England team when I was growing up. Trevor Stephen, Gary Stevens, Gary Lineker, Steve Bull, Stuart. You don't get many of them. Stuart Pearce, Des Walker, Paul. Paul's still quite a popular name, isn't it? I am going to do Group of Death. We are 20 subscribers away on YouTube from 482,000 on our road to 1.5 million. So please do subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Also, let us know where you're watching from. That would be great. What was my score prediction? My score prediction was Scotland 4-0. However, that's not looking great at the moment. We've had 20 minutes already. They have it at the post, though, Scotland. Haiti look competitive. That's the issue at the moment. Right, my group of death. Mexico, South Korea, Czech Republic, South Africa, Group A, Switzerland, Canada. I don't need to read them all out. Group D is quite competitive. Germany, no. I think Group F is quite competitive. Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, Tunisia. I don't think Tunisia will be terrible. That's not. Yeah. I think because every team has really got a bit of a shit team in it, I actually think that the group of death is hard in this World Cup because there's so many countries in it. But I think Group F, Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, Tunisia, that's quite competitive. I think Sweden will be decent. I think Japan will be decent. Netherlands look good on paper, and I don't think Tunisia will be crap. So I think Group F is probably the only group that doesn't have a team where you'd go, they're going to be. Maybe Group D, USA, Turkey, Australia, Paraguay. But most groups, you know who's going to be in the top 3. Oh. So, Itch just said, I think it's the French group. France, Senegal, Iraq, Norway. Yeah, but Iraq aren't going to be very good, are they? I mean, I'm being ignorant, but I think Norway, Senegal, France will all go through by just beating Iraq. It's a lovely cross, and keeper gets hold of it. Bit of a shout for a penalty from Isidore there. I suppose we've got to be a little bit fair. These countries, they do, I mean, breaking news, these countries do qualify for these tournaments. So, they're not going to be totally useless. Haiti will have played. There is Rod Stewart. Baby Jane, don't leave me hanging on the line. VIP. Hydration break. Hydration break. So, look, Scotland. Some people thought they might be 3 or 4-0 up by now. 2-0. Even. It's 0-0. Haiti will be encouraged. It's obviously still very hot there because John McGinn's got a bag of ice on his back. Even though it's the night time. Let me tell you the temperature in Boston right now. Boston. Good films based in Boston. The Town. Brilliant film. Boston's on the East Coast, so 5 hours behind. 26 degrees. So it's still warm. And the time now in Boston is 9:25 at night. Being as it's the hydration break, let me just let you know about our BOYLE Sports sponsorship of the show. I've got my bet builder on. We're well into the game. You can do your own bet builders where you put certain things together to build your bet and boost your odds. And on top of that, BOYLE Sports are going to give you a 50% bet boost on top of your bet anyway. I've got Scotland to win, which they're not. I've got Shea Adams to score, which he hasn't. I've got over 3.5 goals, which we haven't. And I've got over 6.5. At the moment, it's not going great. I've basically built my bet around Scotland scoring a lot of goals. And at the moment, 0-0 is not helping me out. But don't forget, I'm also testing your knowledge. I've got a second question for you. How many goals at World Cup tournaments in the past have Haiti scored? This is not Haiti's first World Cup. There's the clue. So how many goals at World Cup tournaments in the past have Haiti scored? Get guessing for that. I'll give you them at half time. No prizes. It's just for fun. And remember, during this tournament, if you place an outright bet of £20 or more on a team to win the tournament, for example, France, every time that team wins a game during the tournament, you get a free £5 bet back. So if you bet on France to win the tournament for 20 quid, and they win 6 games on the way there, you'd have 30 back in free bets. Check that out. 18 plus, UK and Ireland only. Please bet responsibly. Terms and conditions are in the description and on the screen. Back yourself with BOYLE Sports. And that's the hydration break done. Perfect timing. As I was saying, I think obviously thoroughly enjoying the World Cup, but the stadium is fantastic. I really feel like we haven't had a bad stadium yet. And I'm sure we will do at some point, but the stadiums are really impressive. And this is the first game that's been played at night as well. I don't know how frequent we've got games being played at the night, actually. Very impressed, though. Very impressed. We've got well over 7,500 people watching on YouTube. We've got a few hundred watching on TikTok. EP Goat on TikTok says the best side so far, USA. Thanks for all the follows over on TikTok. South Korea game was at night as well. I didn't watch that one. So you might be right, Cosmic. South Korea did play well, by the way. USA were brilliant in the first half. Morocco were good for half an hour. So, yeah, I probably agree with you. I think USA probably have been the best team so far. I believe England have a fairly easy route to the semi-final if they top the group, avoiding teams like Spain and Argentina. They don't. I don't think they do, Constantine. I think they'd have Mexico in Mexico and then a Brazil quarter-final. That's what I had anyway. Mr. Josh says, my friend has a foot fetish. Do you have any advice? Yeah, go to the doctors. I've never understood that. Kissing feet and stuff. Ooh. A lot of people walk around bare feet. I just don't get the feet thing. No. Feet are for kicking footballs. That's about it. And putting socks on. You're right, though. Some people have a foot fetish. I tell you what, Scotland needs to be a little bit careful with Isidore because he's chucking himself around the box like Tom Daly. And, you know, with these referees, they have been very good, but... And that is definitely not a penalty, but... Are you going to drink any Iron Brew? I would not have... I'd tell you what, I would not have minded a bit of Iron Brew tonight. James says, what underdog team do you think could win the World Cup outside of the top 10 ranked international teams? James, I mean, you basically don't get underdogs winning the World Cup. And we've had it in the Euros with Denmark and Greece, but you very rarely get, well, you don't really get underdogs winning the World Cup. Oh, it should have been 1-0 to Scotland. And it is now. McGinn. They had a brilliant chance just before this. Keeper made a good save. Comes to McGinn and he hits the shot and it deflects in. That's a big, big goal for Scotland. Scooby-Doo. And it's John McGinn. Not been as dominant as maybe they would have thought, but they've got the goal. Doesn't necessarily mean it's over for Haiti. They won't be very happy that they've conceded, but they have been very competitive in this game. Let's have a look at this. It was good play by Scotland. I mean, he is onside there. Runs into the channel. Shea Adams. Good, lovely little bit of play. Good wing play. Puts the cross in. Shea Adams nearly scored, to be fair. It was a great save by the goalkeeper. And then McGinn gets a little bit fortunate. And, yeah, it deflects in off the defender from McGinn's shot. But it was a brilliant save by the goalkeeper from Shea Adams. And they've got the goal, Scotland. They've got the goal. Zuhar says that's another example of the hydration breaks ruining the game. But we will have to keep an observation on that. I think it's a fair point. You know, how many goals are scored straight after the hydration break? He's giving a foul there. Oh, Jeff Evans says, are you drinking an Iron Brew? No, this is just an orange mug. Kyrgios says, do you think USA can make the quarterfinals after seeing their performance? Mate, to be honest with you, I think if USA can top their group, they've got a great chance of hitting the quarterfinals. The problem is if you don't top your group, you could end up with a difficult pathway. Yeah. Jeff Evans says you won't find a bad stadium at this tournament, and there are half a dozen 100,000-seater stadiums that aren't even part of the tournament. Bailey says, hi Mark, ever watch ESPN FC? It's like American soccer talk show with Steve Nicol, Frank LaBouffe and Shaka Hislop. I would rather sit on the toilet for 4 hours with the shits than listen to that shit. As I've said to you before, in America, you need to up your game. Your panel is shit. I've seen clips years ago. Craig Burley's on it as well, isn't it? And it is shite. You could do a lot better. I think what CBS have done with BOYLE Xtra is a step in the right direction. Kappa says less than 3 hours left for Turkey, Australia. Can't wait. Guler. Yeah, I'm looking forward to. I mean, I will obviously go to bed after this and get a few hours in. But when I wake up, I'll watch the highlights of that. Ooh, nearly 2-0 Scotland. They've got their tails up now. Cross came in. Shankland got up for it. Headed it just wide. I'm a bit pissed off, but I mean, look, I'm not going to moan. It's not my style. I'm not going to moan too much about the timings because I think some people are just very arrogant about this World Cup and the kickoff times, sort of like why I mean, it's just so arrogant of anyone in Europe to be saying why the game's on at 2 o'clock in the morning because it's a fucking World Cup, basically. And I would like to watch Turkey, but their kickoff times are ridiculous because they're all West Coast games, 3, 4, and 5 in the morning. I'm trying to think. Turkey are in the USA group, aren't they? No, they can't be. They are. Turkey, Australia are in the USA group. I might watch USA Turkey, but I think even that's 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Andrew says it's good we haven't seen a 0-0 game so far. There was a lot of 0-0s in Qatar, wasn't there? It's a good sign, but it's very early in the tournament. But it is a good sign because it means that games are more open if we're not getting 0-0s. That's an interesting cross by Haiti. I'll tell you what, they have put some good crosses into the box. Ian says that Scotland have never got past the group stages. Ricky might remember them doing an open bus tour at Hampden before the '78 World Cup and then messing up. I think they were a good team. That's why. I think Scotland. You know, some of us would not appreciate this, but going into the '86 World Cup, I wouldn't say they were favourites, but they were a dark horse. 70s and ooh. Good save, keeper. Haiti nearly scored. And there was an offside as well. I tell you what, they're not terrible, Haiti. They're having a good go here. Kalen says he needs 2 cards in this game. Yeah, but Scotland in the late 70s and up to the mid 80s, they were a good side. You know, Kenny Dalglish, Gordon Strachan, Graham Souness, Alan Hansen. Scottish football was in a good position in the 70s and 80s. It just fell off. I don't know why. We probably have got some Scottish people watching this show. Why don't you produce good players in Scotland anymore? It's strange. You know, you had some of the best players in Europe at one point and you just don't produce them anymore. I don't know what that is, why that is. My friend is a food fetish. Do you have any advice? Says Mr. Josh. Yeah. You just got to stop eating as much. Easier said than done. Ollie's off to Ireland tomorrow to go to a wedding venue touring. Wish Ireland was in it, but have the Hairy Lemon on the itinerary. Well, Ollie, one of my favourite pubs in the world, that. Enjoy. I had my work leaving do in the Hairy Lemon and entertained many, well, not many. I'll leave it there. Rank Iron Brew, Dr. Pepper or Fanta Exotic, says James Downey Comedy. I don't recall tasting Fanta Exotic. I remember that red Fanta. Was it Fanta Tropic or something like that? So I'm going to pretend it's that. I would bench Fanta Exotic, sell Iron Brew, and start Dr. Pepper. I actually like Dr. Pepper. Greg says they're all Neds now. Sam says, thoughts on Jordan McCann versus Ibiza final boss? I don't know who Jordan McCann is. And Ibiza final boss, I'm going to guess, is the guy who was last year's Jim Skin. What was it? You know, the one with the hair. So I don't know who the other one is, so I don't know who would win in a fight there. Have you ever eaten a value box chicken chips kebab? No, but it sounds very nice, Oddie. SRFM says it's 2:30 a.m. I feel like Alan Partridge. It's 2:30. It's 2:39 a.m. We're talking. What's your top 3 soft drinks? I mean, it literally is an Alan Partridge radio show here. Haiti on the attack again. They're in. He's in. He's in. Oh God! I tell you what, they're getting closer and closer. Scotland are having to work for this. Forget the goal difference. Sam on TikTok says, what's your favourite motorway services and why? I actually do like a motorway service on the M5 just between it's around Gloucester, and it's a bit arty-farty because I think it's meant to be like a... What's happened here? ESFHD-C? What's this? What's going on? Is anyone else getting this? It's back. God. What was going on there? We're back again. Yeah, it's a bit like what do they call it? Probably like carbon. I don't know what it is, but it's on the M5 and it's like a bunker. But the food's really good because it's like a farm theme. They do nice sausage rolls and stuff. Big Paint, thanks for your super chat. He says, MetLife in New Jersey is the 15th biggest stadium in America. A lot of the biggest stadiums aren't hosting because they are in tiny towns. Well, there's loads of big stadiums in America, isn't there? Because you've got loads of NFL teams for a start. Lisa says, I don't think Mexico really are all that. Their group isn't very good and neither are they. I think England beat them easy. Lisa's got something against Mexico. This is the second super chat in 3 days where she's really gone in on Mexico. So I basically think Lisa went on one of her holidays to Mexico for a couple of weeks, probably Cancun, and had a bad experience, and now she just doesn't like Mexico, basically. You won't find a bad... I've done that one from Jeff, thank you. What Ferguson's going down there for, that was a little bit of a dive. Haiti may worry Brazil, let alone Scotland, says MUFC. No, I think I can see Brazil putting a few goals past them. Someone just said, forget Lisa going to Cancun in Mexico. She probably went to Los Iguanas and had a dodgy fajita. Lisa's getting strays. She won't mind that. You need to know who Lisa is. There's a backstory. It's all good banter. But I'll tell you what, I've been impressed with Haiti. Lovely play down the wing. Goes past McGinn. That's a good... I'll tell you what, their crosses have been good. Another offside. They're getting caught offside a lot. Haiti are playing well. They've been very impressive, actually. Glitch in the Matrix is Alpha. Scouse says, bring Big Dunk on. I saw he was on ITV earlier. He was very good on the overlap. Loads of people were getting shit scared about when it cut off. Someone just said, I thought we were going to war. Mate, it was just a bloody... Used to get it all the time. in when I were a lad. Games, you know, the feed just goes down, doesn't it? I like Haiti, yeah. Can I just shock you? I actually quite like Haiti. Clamp says the biggest stadiums aren't even NFL. They are college football stadiums. Plenty of 100,000 capacity seat stadiums in small college towns, says Clamp. That's amazing. Sam, did you watch Alan Partridge football commentary years ago? That was actually before the '94 World Cup. Good point. Lisa says, read my super chat. We did. One Change, One Piece says, will Man United go for Buadi? I'd be very surprised if we did, but I'll also guarantee we get linked to him now in the next couple of days because everyone says how good he is and he's a midfielder. MM says, what was your go-to cuisine visiting New York? We tried a few things, but I tell you where we did go twice and we don't have it in the UK. Chick-fil-A was actually quite good. Much better than KFC. Jack Glancy says it's the FA's fault for being incompetent. Gordon, Livramento and Barnes could play for Scotland, but why would they when they can play for England? Yeah, but you know what? Ireland have got the same problem. Ireland used to produce some good players and they don't anymore. Scotland used to produce good players and they don't anymore. Even Wales used to produce good players and they don't anymore. If you think about Wales, Ryan Giggs, Gareth Bale, Dean Saunders, Ian Rush, Mark Hughes. Wales don't produce world-class players anymore. Neither does Scotland and neither do Ireland. I mean, look at Ireland. Roy Keane, Dennis Irwin, Paul McGrath, Robbie Keane. I don't know what it is. England, we produce loads, and Scotland. I know Scotland, Ireland, and Wales have got smaller populations, but they did used to produce a lot better players. It must be infrastructure. Augie says, are you doing Australia, Turkey at 5? No. I mean, you know what? It actually almost gets to the point where I could just say yes, but no. No. I hadn't planned it. I'm not going to do it. Tommy on TikTok says, fun fact, the Haiti manager has never stepped foot in Haiti because it's too dangerous. I have heard this. Kenzo's going to bed. Good night, pal. And Richie says, hydration break, a big topic for you. One could fear it might worsen game flow. Big topic here in Germany. Tennis balls are ready. I wasn't bothered about the hydration break, but to be fair, the more I see people like yourself talking about it, the more I do sort of think, well, But then I also think that we have had hydration breaks in other tournaments since 2014. It was just discretionary if it was hot enough. And in fairness, every game we've had in the World Cup so far, you would need it. Gareth Bale retired too early, says Prestige. I mean, he is Welsh. Not that Welsh people retired too early. He's 36, Gareth Bale. I just felt with Gareth Bale that he didn't really give off the vibe that he was that interested in football. Lekin says, first time here from Nigeria. You're very welcome, sir. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, incredible boxer. Thanks for the super chat, but I'm not shouting that out. Omoa says MetLife in New York is 82,000. College football stadium in Michigan is 107. College towns were too small to host. Evening, Mark. Well, thanks for the information. Lisa says you are still hating Grandpa. Grow up. And it's because in Wales my coach tells me to stop stepovers, says Jay-Z. Yeah, well, it does worry me that some coaches and academies coach stuff out of players. Trying to get Shay Adams booked here. I don't think the referee's going to fall for it, though. Since you started content, Mark, what's the weirdest fan encounter you've ever had, if any, says Sam. There's plenty of weird comments on here. In real life, no, most people are absolutely sound. Well, we've got 4 minutes of added time here. You know what I don't get is that when I might be really stupid on this one. When we get the hydration break, the clock doesn't stop. So we're on 47:36 here, and I didn't stop the clock for hydration. And they're on 47:42, and they don't stop for hydration. So we're getting 4 minutes added on. Are they adding time on for hydration, or are they just including it as part of the game? Somebody said they add 3 minutes on every half because of it. Okay, so every game, every half is going to get a minimum 3 minutes added on. Okay, all right, yeah. Makes sense. That's why we got 10 minutes in the Brazil game then, isn't it? To be fair, the Bulls, I bet if they compared, lovely bit of play here by Scotland. I bet if they compared, he's got to go back post to Robertson. I bet if they compared these first few games of the World Cup to the Premier League, the Bulls in play a lot more. Well, he's done the 4 minutes. And he blows. There we go. Well, look, Scotland will be quite happy with that first half. I think the first thing we need to look at, he ran off. I want the back. Get back. 55% possession for Scotland. 7 shots to 8. 2 shots on target to 1. No corners in the game at all. But you know what? The takeaways from that is very impressed with Haiti. Not hating on Scotland, but Haiti have done very, very well. Scotland have got the goal. The most important thing for Scotland is actually to win this game, but Haiti is still in it, and they've played very, very well. So, yeah, that's the takeaway, really. Have you ever met David Beckham? No. I don't know whether I'd like to meet David Beckham, because he's one of the few people that I'm sort of like he's just a legend, an absolute legend. So yeah, and I think sometimes I definitely subscribe to the view that it's sometimes, I mean, I have met some famous people who are absolutely brilliant, but you just wouldn't want to ruin that if then, you know, if you catch them on a bad day or they're a bit boring. But no, I haven't met David Beckham. I haven't met Roy Keane. was lost in thought there. Who is that on the telly? Who is she? I'm not being ignorant. I don't know who it is. There's a few people I've seen on the panels. That's Joe Hart. He's I vaguely recommend him. I don't vaguely recommend him. I don't know where that rumour's coming from. I vaguely recognise him, but I don't know who she is. I would say I'd be guessing. Marv says Haiti been decent, and I'm Scottish. I'd be very happy if I was Scottish at the moment. Not because I'm Scottish. I'd be very happy with being 1-0 up against Haiti, who have done very well. It has actually got the ingredients of 0-0 at half time, and you're a little bit worried because Haiti are playing well, and you're thinking, is there a shock on the cards? So I think if you're Scottish, you'd be pleased that you're 1-0 up at the moment. Certainly. What do you think of the World Cup ball? Says Nagar. Well, it doesn't seem to be causing any problems. I remember the South African World Cup. There was problems with the ball, but I think here, you know, we're getting lots of shots. Frederick says, I'm not happy with Robertson. He's absolutely stinking it up. It's Rachel Corsie. She had 152 Scottish caps. Well, there you go, Drano. Thank you very much for that. Well, you know, I think it's important. I always say there's no such thing as a stupid question if you don't know the answer. And also, a load of people know who it is now. And it'd be ignorant to just go, you know, if I don't know who someone is, I want to know. Well, I'm not desperate to know, but I will ask. Your 6.5 corners is not looking very good, says Alpha. Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm doing, how crap I'm doing on my bet builder in a moment, actually. But what are your thoughts on Norway bringing their own food, says Brian. I mean, I think that's a little bit silly. There's lots of good food in America. Oggy says, stay up to watch Australia. No. I mean, I actually do, I'm going to say this. I do read the comments on there, Stoned. I've read about 10 of them. I just don't read yours because they're crap. But, you know, obviously yesterday was the first early hours game. And I was sort of fading a little bit in the 2 o'clock game, with especially the second half between USA and Paraguay. But you know, it's like anything, the more you do it, the better you get at it. And the important thing now is to keep the rhythm going. We've got, let me just have a quick, have we got a 2 a.m. tomorrow? I don't think we have. They are, the only thing I would say about this World Cup is they sometimes are a little bit sporadic in the games, in the sense that sometimes it's 1 in the morning, sometimes it's midnight, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 4. So tomorrow, Germany Curacao at 6 p.m. easy, we're doing that. Netherlands Japan, I'm really looking forward to. I think low key Netherlands Japan could be one of the games of the group stage. I think this will be a really good game. Japan are very good, and Netherlands are a little bit of an unknown quantity. And then midnight, Ivory Coast, Ecuador. A lot of people saying Ecuador are a good team. And obviously Ivory Coast have got some good players. Oh, Sweden, 3 o'clock in the morning against Tunisia, which I'm not doing. But yeah, so our late game tomorrow is Ivory Coast against Ecuador at midnight. We've then got on Saudi Arabia, Uruguay is at 11 o'clock the next night. So the next 2 nights, we haven't got a 2 a.m. We're doing a midnight Ivory Coast and then an 11 p.m. Uruguay. And then Tuesday into Wednesday, Iraq against Norway at 11 and Argentina, Algeria at 2 in the early hours of Wednesday morning. I'll do that Argentina Algeria one. Yeah, definitely. Thanks for all the follows on TikTok. Liam says, Ivory Coast are my dark horse. Diamonde is a beast. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one tomorrow night. Because they've got some good attackers, Ivory Coast. Ahmad, Diamonde. I like Toure if he gets some game time as well. Yep, certainly. Going to drink a bottle of whiskey for the Australia-Turkey match. Cheers to the World Cup. Thoughts on Buchanan's? Says Wan. I mean, that's all over the place. But enjoy it. Drink responsibly. Joe Hart and Scott Brown both played for Celtic, says Grant. Who was better, George Best or Wayne Rooney, says Nim. Funnily enough, I might look old, but I wasn't alive when George Best was playing. Missing Turkey-Australia would be criminal, says Jody. Well, take me to prison then, because I ain't staying up till 5 o'clock. Who thinks going to win, Australia or Turkey, says Albert. I have a feeling it might be a score draw. Ty says, would you take Pulisic as a left winger for United? I do like him, but I don't think he could deal with the intensity of the Premier League. Yeah. That's my take on that. Anyway, Alpha said about my 6.5 corners. Okay, so here we are at half time. Let's check in on my bet builder with BOYLE Sports. So I had Scotland to win, which, to be fair, they probably will. I'll say probably, that it's not in the bag yet if you've watched that first half, because Haiti have been quite good. So my bet builder was Scotland to win, Adams to score any time, which he nearly did, but he didn't. Over 3.5 goals, which were a long way from over 6.5 corners. So we've not had a corner. We've only had 1 goal. Shea Adams hasn't scored, but Scotland are winning. So for that to come in, there's quite a lot that needs to happen. If you did put a bet builder on yourself, you can get a 50% boost on top of that as well through BOYLE Sports. And I did ask you 2 questions. So the first question was, who scored an iconic overhead kick to secure Scotland's qualification for the World Cup back in November? Most people should have got this. It's Scott McTominay. Next question, not so easy. How many goals at the World Cup have Haiti scored? I thought this was their first World Cup. They were actually in the World Cup in 1974, and they scored 2 goals. Don't forget with BOYLE Sports, 18 plus only, new UK and Ireland customers. Terms and conditions in the description and on the screen. Please bet responsibly, be gamble aware. And of course, remember, they've got that offer on where if you put £20 on a team to win the World Cup, every time they win a game at the World Cup, you get £5 in free bets back. So check that out with BOYLE Sports. Luke says, did you get on the rum last night? Score out of 10. I didn't. What I'm trying to do, I mean, look, let me know in the chat if you're how you're dealing with this World Cup. Are you going to give up? I spoke to somebody today actually, and they said, I was planning on trying to watch all the games. I've given up already. I'm not even going to watch Scotland tonight. So they've one late night, and they've packed up. I think you've got to get the sleep in. You can't lose the sleep. I think even if it means getting home from work and having a little bit of a nap early evening, you've got to try and get your hours in if you lose them. So like last night, I didn't go to bed till 4 and I was up at 9:30. So I roughly got about 5 hours sleep. That's not enough. So I had a little hour and a half this afternoon just to bump it back up. I think you've got to try and do a bit of exercise just to, you know, exercise is good for you anyway. Hydration, very good. And I also find at about midnight, a nice strong cup of coffee is a good idea as well. Sam says, how's the back? Yeah, I mean, that's got nothing to do with the lateness of the games, but that was just a bit of a blow, yeah. Oyshan says, I've watched all of the games so far. Sergio says, that's not at all how sleep debt works. All right, Professor Sergio, please tell us how sleep debt works. We're all really interested in that. And Jason's, mate, I wear a Whoop, and that's exactly how sleep debt works. If you miss out on sleep, it actually recommends you to have a little nap to catch up on it. So, Sergio, we'll await though. You're obviously the genius when it comes to sleep debt. We're all waiting on Dr. Sergio to talk about sleep debt. Apparently, if you normally sleep for 7 hours, and you only get 5 hours sleep, and you go and have a couple of hours in the afternoon, this is not a good idea, according to Sergio. You should stay tired. But we're all waiting. Dr. Sergio, come on. This is World Cup fever, but Hwang a 6 for United. Looked impressive in first game. Super cheap third option, says Jason. I personally wouldn't be scouting players in the World Cup. Chrissy B says, I think Haiti have been better than I thought. Ty says, any US cities or national parks you want to visit? Miami, Chicago, LA, San Francisco. Yeah, I probably wouldn't mind having a look at Vegas. Sam says, rank your top 5 beers. I don't have a top 5. I do like a Heineken. I do like a Camden Hells. I do like Hawkston. Asahi I quite like at the moment. Jody says, I love you. Please read my super chat. I thought I already did. Green says, have a hot bath with Epsom salts in. I've had that before. It is quite nice. Eat some haggis. That wakes you up, says the Poplar. Oh, Jody, here it is. People saying Pulisic should go to United after one good game for USA need to be studied. And Andrew says, if the UK hosted the World Cup, what underrated city stadiums would you want to see host a group game? This is getting very technical, Andrew. But underrated city stadiums would you want to see host a group game in the UK? I can't think of a stadium in a city that's a bit underrated. User says, do you think McTominay will score? Well, I think he nearly did. Man United Philosophy says, keep up the good work. I've learnt a lot from you. Thank you, pal. And Reacher says, to add to your point, Kalu Moani was scouted at the last World Cup, and look at him now. My problem with scouting players at the World Cup is that international football is categorically, factually slower than domestic football, and therefore you're judging them in an environment which is not the same as domestic football. So if you're going to buy a player that does well in the World Cup, fine, but they should have been on your list before the World Cup. So I'm trying to think of a player at the World. You know, Yan Diamonde, if he plays really well for Ivory Coast, well, Liverpool, PSG, were looking at him before. You look, the mistake some clubs have made in the past is they're not really looking at a player. They watch the World Cup and go, he's good, and then they buy him. And the point is, they all play for a domestic team, so why have you not scouted them previously? Jalen says, even Americans on the East Coast are about to lose sleep over the Australia game. Starts at midnight over here. Yeah, 5 in the morning, you're right. Club teams would destroy World Cup teams. Well, they would do anyway, Poplar Bluff, because if you think about it, international teams get very limited time to work on patterns and strategies, whereas domestic teams get to do it every day. There's a lot of Scottish fans at the stadium, Mark. Yep. The Tartan Army. I would imagine a lot of them have travelled from Scotland, and as that does sound like a stupid statement, but what I mean is there will be a lot of Scottish people living in America anyway. Or Scottish heritage. Do you think we could get a Haiti comeback? I think the way they played in the first half, you know, Scotland would definitely want a second goal. I'm just waiting for the ref to start it, and there we go. Second half, up and running. Anton says, how far do you think Sweden are getting, and who do you think is going to win the World Cup? You know what? It's so difficult because when I did my World Cup predictor, there was some really, like, let me see if I can get it up on the screen. There was some really stinky knockout games. God, Romano has literally just done a video about Boadi. Told you, people would just start talking about it. It's amazing. There was no video about him yesterday, but now it's suddenly after one good game for Morocco. Here we go. Anyway, let me just... There was something I wanted to look at here. Answer that question about Sweden. Ewan, thanks for the follow on TikTok, and Stu and AK1212. Brad says, are you tired? I was more tired yesterday. I'm actually starting to get into the rhythm, I think, a bit now. I'm actually a little bit worried because I will be going to bed in an hour and I don't actually feel as tired as I did last night. So I'm hoping I will get a little bit more tired in the next hour. Where was this thing I wanted to look at? Here it is. Videos. World Cup predictor. Here it is. God, it's bloody slow to load up this. All I'm getting is a L'Oreal advert for Declan Rice with his top off. Well, no one wants to see that. I think the problem with Haiti will be, can they score goals? Here we are. So yeah, this is the problem about predicting the who's going to do well, because in the round of 32, oh God, it's gone to an ad again. Now I know how you lot feel. It's like literally just, I literally had an ad on it and then it's put another ad. I wish I hadn't tried to answer this question about Sweden now. So yeah, I mean, I had Germany, Scotland, France, Japan, Czech Republic, Canada, Netherlands, Morocco, and that's in the last 32. So the trouble is, there's easy paths and there's hard paths into the knockouts. Spain, Austria, Colombia, Croatia. So yeah, I think there are some difficult routes. It's hard to predict how anybody's going to do. Haiti moving the ball around quite well here. Goes for a goal kick. Amelia says, going to sleep drunk is hard. And finding it harder to do... I don't know what that's all about, MEFC. Dane says, you're going to put some bets on the winners of the World Cup. Well, I would only do one, and it's England. Poplar Bluff says, I know why Australia versus Turkey starts at midnight. Pray tell. T-Potion says, James Rodriguez bang a World Cup and never hit those heights again. Dalton's watching from Norwich. There we go. Shears says, do you think South Africa will make it out of the group? Not from what I saw against Mexico. And that was the group with Czech Republic and South Korea in it as well, wasn't it? So Bailey says, what's your thoughts on the state of the pitches so far? I know it was a point of contention amongst the European players and fan bases coming in. Well, I think the feedback's been okay so far. There's not been any complaints in any post matches either, has there? So I think so far it's good. Tommy's watching from Drogheda. If you know, you know. Corner here to Haiti. Real Joe B CFC says, morning Mark, 13 months as a member, hope you and the family are all well. Very well, mate, hope you're doing well as well. Don't like the fact that you said morning. Technically you're right, but when you haven't been to bed yet. That used to be a killer, you know, when used to work the night shift from 10 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night till 7 o'clock in the morning. And obviously it hit like lovely cross by Haiti, but no one there on the end of it again. This is the problem they're going to have. I think they're a very competitive team, and it's just that it's the same old thing. It's like for the newly promoted teams in the Premier League. If you can't put the ball in the back of the net, you'll struggle. He's miles offside there. Yeah. So you do a shift 10 o'clock at night till 7 o'clock in the morning, and you know once it hits like 6:30, you're just waiting for the early shift to come in. But then they're coming in, starting their day, and you're like, just want to get in my car and get home and go to bed. Got $100 on the Scotland spread. Reckon they score, says Cross. What's the spread? What does that mean, the spread? I don't know what that means. They have scored. Roberto says, what's the time for you, Mark? I'm watching from Miami and it's 10 p.m. It's just gone 17 minutes past 3 in the morning. Amelia says, I don't like these Scotland jerseys. They're hideous. Spread is the handicap, apparently, according to Graham. J-Lo says, I had a Scottish ancestor in the 1300s and fought as a mercenary with the knights in the North Crusade. Let's go Scotland. J-Lo, I've never done my... family tree, but if you did, you've probably got... Yeah, you've probably got every nation in you, haven't you? I definitely think on my mum's side there's French somewhere. It's a lovely cross. That should be it for Scotland. Oh no, it just went across the face of the goal. It was a good cross. Couldn't tap it in. Louise says, I've had every nation in me. Yeah, okay, we'll move on. It is 3 in the morning, but you won't get that on ITV. Prince Harry is at the Knicks game. I just can't. I really did enjoy The Last Dance, but I've never enjoyed watching basketball. I just find it. I mean, and look, this could be a very unfair assessment of it. I just think it's a bit like you score, we score, you score, we score, you score, we score. Maybe that's an unfair assessment of it. Mr. Al-Shamari, hope you're doing well. Can you believe that with a population of 213 million, Brazil can't produce talent like they used to? Why don't we see another Ronaldinho, R9, Rivaldo? What's gone wrong? I don't know, because I'm not from Brazil. I genuinely don't know. Maybe well, I have a theory. I think it must be something to do with coaching and development of players. It must be. They must be doing something. Daniel says street football's dead now. Yeah, well, street football is probably a big part of it, because you've got to be technically good to play that. You're playing on uneven surfaces, smaller balls. Gannon Duac is unbelievable, says Blair Hockley. I was just looking at it. He's only 20. He has had a good game. "'Tis nearer noon in Australia, ready for a match," says Poplar. And Bailey says, "Hi Mark, thoughts on the royal family from the USA? Always found it fascinating. A shame that Prince Harry doesn't talk to Will and Kate anymore." Yeah, I'm not about to sit here talking about the royal family in any depth. It's not something... You're probably the only person that's going to ask me about the royal family this year. It's not something that features highly in my vocabulary or conversation, to be honest with you. I will give you an answer. I'm not a royalist by any stretch of the imagination, but I do like the fact that we have a monarchy. I really enjoyed the series The Crown on Netflix, basically. Anyway, we move. "Do you appreciate Tuchel's calm presence to management? He seems very calm under pressure," says Constantine. I'll appreciate if he actually wins something. Bailey says, "Do you think the heat will affect the England players considerably? Saw an interview of Ollie Watkins already talking and complaining about it." Oh, good cross. That's going to be a corner for Scotland. I think sometimes if you give people a reason to moan or an excuse, they'll take it. And the reality is, I don't think the heat is an excuse for England. It's hot for everybody, and you know, you've had plenty of time to acclimatise. Thanks for the follows, Skylar and Adam. Tony says, see you in Dubai. You've said it about 10 times, Tony. I'm not going to Dubai. Apparently it is nice in Dubai, but I've got no intention of going. Well, I wouldn't say I've got no intention of going there. I've got no intention of going there anytime soon. Haiti are too quick to go down, falling at contact, says Blair. What about Belgium in this tournament, says Alex? I think Belgium and the Netherlands are two teams I'm looking forward to watch because they've got an abundance of talent. And, you know, much the same as Morocco and South Korea and USA, they've got potential to be a bit of a dark horse. But not everybody can be a dark horse, and some of these teams will flop. Another great cross into the box by Haiti there, but they just can't get on the end of them. Dan says, I need Haiti for a 500 bet to come through. Well, to be honest, mate, you never should have bet on them. What's your thoughts on Breaking Bad, says Efan. One of the best series I've watched. In relation to the basketball, I did put it on Amazon Prime. It's $53.65 to the Spurs, and they're in the third quarter. Where are the Spurs from? Is that good? Well, they're obviously losing. You heard England gear was stolen, says the 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think people are making a big deal out of this. England had a few kits stolen. It's not like when what was the World Cup where the actual World Cup got stolen? Spurs are from Texas. Yeah, North London. Mr. Nincon says, what is the best series you've ever watched? Ooh. Yeah, I think Breaking Bad would be up there. I did really enjoy Game of Thrones, but it finished really shit. I've watched a few good. I mean, Boardwalk Empire was good, but it drifted a little bit. Homeland was good, and then that drifted. Band of Brothers is a good shout. I just can't really remember. It's been so long since I've watched it. The Wire, Ozark was very good. Ozark was very good. Yeah. Fargo season 1 and 2, very good. I thought the Peaky Blinders movie was a bit shit, Jamie, to be honest. Sopranos, I can't say. I'll get. You'll judge me. I stopped watching Sopranos and Sons of Anarchy. And Walking Dead, I think you'll applaud me for that. Walking Dead was good for a bit. Too many. Yeah, Homeland was good. They just did too many of them. Mr. Tobias says, what do you think of Peaky Blinders? I enjoyed it. I just didn't rate the film. Reckon Rashford's boots are on eBay, Mark, if you want to have a look after the gear was stolen, or maybe a Jordan Henderson top. You know, no one's going to buy that, Bailey. Poplar Bluff says, England just played 2 or 3 friendlies in the most humid areas in the US, where I'm from. Yeah, you know, Haiti on the break here. That's going to go out. It's that quality, isn't it? It is that lack of quality. Succession was very good again. So I did enjoy Succession. Yeah, Succession was good. Fly says, I think Scotland are going to get pumped by Morocco and Brazil. I don't know. I think Scotland will be well organised and they'll become the underdog. Here, they're the favourite and Haiti are the underdog. But I think Scotland against Brazil and Morocco, they'll sit deep, won't they? Poplar Bluff says Clarkson's Farm. Lud says, how far do you think Sweden are going to go? Don't know. Last 32? It just depends, mate. It just depends who you get in the last 32 because it's like any knockout tournament, isn't it? That Sweden will get out the group, but if you get France in the last 32 or somebody decent, then you know you might go out. Terrific insight there. I think people think because there's an extra knockout round, it's an easy knockout round, but it all comes down to the draw. Like the predictor I did was Austria against France in the last 32. Well, if you're Austria, you're probably going out, aren't you? So you're not getting to the quarterfinals. I'm not doing the Australia game now. It's a 5 a.m. kickoff. Hydration break, which for me is a stand-up break. Oh, God. Painkillers are starting to fall or drop off as well. Oh. That'll be a good game tomorrow. Actually, somebody... You know, a country that nobody's really talking about, Germany, and they'll pump Carousel tomorrow. But no one's really talking about Germany. I think the Netherlands. Sorry, yawn break. I think the Netherlands against Japan. That'll be a good game, and Ivory Coast, Ecuador. Could be a good game as well. Ecuador. Let's have a look. Apparently Ecuador haven't lost a tournament, a game of football in 20 games. And the interesting thing about Ecuador is, again, they've got a Sunderland forward in Angulo. Obviously, Caicedo plays for them. I'm just looking at their squad. A couple of Brazilian players playing in Brazil. I don't really recognise many of their players, but they're Pacho, obviously, PSG, Hincapié. But they've... apparently they're a very good team. They could be one to watch, Ecuador. And Ivory Coast. Just while this water break's going on. So Ivory Coast, you've got Touré at Hoffenheim. He's a good player. Ahmad. Wahi is at Nice. Didn't do that well at Frankfurt, but could be a handful. The Diamonde, as we know. Adingra is currently at Monaco. Boni at Milan. I do worry about their midfield a little bit. Sangari, Kessie. Frank Kessie's only 29. He's just been playing in the Saudi league. Defensively, Diamonde is good at Sporting. I do like Ndika as well. I think he was at Frankfurt. He's at Roma now. Be a good game, that Ecuador Ivory Coast. Again, I think there's a few teams in this World Cup where you sort of look at them and go, could they make an impact? Could they get the quarterfinals? A lot of people think it's going to be Norway, but I was impressed with Morocco today. I think they could grow into the tournament. USA obviously looked good. South Korea looked good. We've got Japan and Ivory Coast and Ecuador tomorrow. So there's a few clubs that are, sorry, a few countries that, you know, hopefully will make latter stages. I mean, the favourites are the favourites. Are you a SpaceX shareholder, says Alpha? No. What if coaches choose when hydrations break happen? How would that work, just pasty? No, you have a drink when we tell you you're having a drink. AJ says, are you the only one up? Apart from the dogs. Is he giving a penalty here? No. I thought he'd given a penalty. What's your favourite game player team that's played? I thought Pulisic was brilliant in that first half cameo yesterday, so he'd be the player. Best team I've seen play so far probably was the United States in that first half. Robert McCormack says, need to see this out or they're in trouble. They've got to win this, Scotland, yes. I don't think it matters how now. Rory says, read my super chat. Only drunks buy Jordan Henderson England shirts, says Shane. Better Call Saul, says Poplar. Ian Tracy says, it was in England in '66 when the World Cup got stolen. A dog found it then. And wasn't the dog called Pickles? Rory says, betting on Haiti is like betting on the 10 at the bar to come home with you. Well, it'd be a good bet if you're me. I'm married, actually. That would be a bad bet. How do you think the USA would match up against Belgium, says Live Long. I don't know. I'd need to see Belgium first. Manchester on TikTok says, what are you watching on? BBC. Yeah. Popular Bluff says, I've got Ecuador winning that group. I'm looking forward to watching Ecuador because a lot of people have said to me they're a good team, but Haiti, they're in the box. There's lots of Scottish players back. Oh, I tell you what, that's a corner. He's giving a goal kick. Thought Hanley got his head on it. No, nearly got his hand on it. Could still go either way. Like in other sports where coaches call timeouts, is just pasty. But why would you call a timeout for a drink? Just, I think with the drinks hydration break, just have it where they have it. Second account says a bit of a boring game this. Well, I just want to say thank you to all you lot because I'm telling you now, sitting watching a boring game at 20 to 4 in the morning, it ain't easy. I don't think it's been boring, but if you think it's been boring, then, you know, what am I to tell you? But why it's not been boring for me is because of all you lot and your conversation, so thank you. We've had nearly 8,000 people watching on YouTube. Guitar, says CK. I've got a bad neck and my fingers hurt, but I'll see if I can do a little bit of something for you. See if you can guess this. No, it wasn't Sergeant Pepper. And that actually did really hurt my neck. And I didn't have my plectrum. Caitlin says, I love you. You really are amazing to stay up to watch this with us. Oh, I'm not, let me just be, Caitlin, I really appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. But let me be very, very clear. I'm not doing this as a bet or a chore. I would have watched this game anyway. Can you do some Stone Roses? I'll do some Stone Roses tomorrow night, yeah. I think that guitar's like, oh God, it's killing me now. Can you play Agadoo? I'm sure there is a tune to play Agadoo. Can you shout out LCFC, Mark? Also, I think Scotland are dark horses tonight, says Jack. You want me to shout out Leicester and you think Scotland are dark horses? I think you're drunk. But thanks for the super chat, Jack. US stadiums better than UK stadiums for atmospheres is obvious troll. I don't really get into that. Corner to Haiti. I don't really get into that because I like American sport. So, and obviously I love football. So I don't really, you know, I think each for each. Thanks for all the follows on TikTok, by the way. Operator K, Sarah Jane. Corner for Haiti. Scotland defending it well. I didn't think it was going to be this type of game from Scotland. I actually thought they might win it 3 or 4-0, but they have just got to dig in here for the last 20 minutes or so, 15 minutes, and get this win. I think if Haiti were to score, Scotland have to get 3 points here, because then if they do lose to Morocco and Brazil, and they might not, they could still get there, although they got them. I think 3 points might get them through. But obviously their goal difference is only going to be a +1. When I did my World Cup predictor, there was a couple of teams that did go home with 3 points because they had crap goal difference. So he's done well there. Good cross. You feel like if Haiti are going to score, they're going to they need to produce something very, very special. They've played well though. They've been a lot better than I thought. They're into the box here, and they've won another corner. I'm not going to say the words they deserve something out of it, because I've got Scottish friends, but I think those friends will be, well, as Sir Alex Ferguson, a famous Scot, would say, it's squeaky bum time here. They've just got to, I think they have got the defence to see this out, but they've just got to focus in for these last 12 minutes. And they have defended well there. Had a bit to drinking meant Scotland are dark horses for the World Cup. Also, it's Langwith College Football Club, says Jack. Thank you. Alex says, will you be more festive for England? It's a World Cup. Don't know what that means, Alex, but we'll move on. Hydration break is all about FIFA money, says the Poplar Bluff. Gerb says Haiti will be in the same situation. They've got to throw everything at them. Yeah, well, I hadn't actually thought about it like that. I mean, Haiti will probably look at it in the same way as this is their best chance of getting a point. Because Morocco and Brazil will be a lot harder, you would have thought. BZD says, Mark, what you're doing right now, staying up until 4 to watch a boring game, is what I have to do 10 months a year to support Man United from Australia. Yes, respect. there is a lot of people around the world who, in a domestic season, are watching Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And it's a break for Haiti. Scotland have got to keep their shape. He's in. He's not going to shoot from there. He's going to have to wait. And he wins another corner. They are defending well, Scotland. Have the NBA Finals Game 5 on the screen as well. So say, oh, I think I've got that on as well. 65-72. Uh, 75-65 now. I don't know enough about basketball to know if that's a big lead or not. Lee Hammer says, this is the dog shit you get when you expand it to 48 teams. Corner Haiti. Headed away. They are defending well, Scotland. Would it be possible to see your setups, says Kazim? Intrigued to see what you watch your games on for these watch-alongs. Love the streams, says Kazim. I will do it, but I wouldn't do it at the moment because it's a bit of a mess. Cups and stuff, but basically what I have is I have a laptop smack in front of me here. I have a TV screen here, which has got the match on. I have my laptop here, which has got like live chat and stuff, and then I've got another screen here, which has got like my stream, and then I've got the TikTok live chat there as well. And I can double screen if I want to, but I was going to say you won't need to in the World Cup, but we will for Game 3 because they kick off at the same time, don't they? Past tense says a 10-point lead in basketball is like a 2-minute run comeback. Yeah, that don't make any sense to me. Thanks for trying though. What is it in football terms? Is it like being 2-0 up? Poplar Bluff says we need an England versus USA final. The second war. Brazil are going to get knocked out in the round of 32, says Ian. I've said Brazil are going to flop in this World Cup. But if you want Brazil to do well, what I would say is that they are quite a defensive side, so they might not concede many goals. I'm not doing Australia against Turkey because it's nearly 4 a.m. here. And that kicks off at 5 a.m. And if I do that game, I just won't have any sleep because I've got another 4 games to do tomorrow. Alex says Balogun or Sesko. Oh, is this because Balogun scored a couple of goals in the World Cup? It's definitely Sesko, mate. Spurs blew a 20-plus lead to lose Game 4. There you go. Joey says a 10-point lead in basketball is like a good counter in football. What? Still none the wiser of what a 10-point lead in basketball is to the equivalent in football. So it's not even equivalent to like 1 goal. Matt West, it's not that much in NBA. It's like 1-0. Would love to see a USA versus Iran in a knockout game, says Razzler. And Kyle says, the ref, thoughts on the ref today, seems to be blowing it every chance he gets. He has been a little bit like that, but the game has flowed really well again, so I'm not going to moan too much. Seems to be a lot of Scottish fans who've got the salmon shirt. You know, when you look around the crowd, there's not a lot of the navy shirts. There's a lot of salmon. And I don't like it. I don't like it. It's a lovely cross again. Oh, was that the chance for Pirro? The cross came in. It was a lovely cross from Haiti. He rose well. He probably, if he's a better striker, he probably does a bit better there. He's quite central when he wins the header, and it is close, but I feel he probably should hit the target. They're attacking here down the left-hand side, Haiti. Only 5 minutes to go. It's Scotland on the attack now with McTominay. He's done well. Oh no, defender caught up with him. I was going to say McTominay taking somebody on for pace. Not really his game. He's offside. I think that's sometimes going to be the problem, even for these lesser nations. Even if they play well, it's the quality, isn't it, to put the ball in the back of the net. Now, Scotland would love to get another one. Goes out for a goal kick. McTominay easily dispossesses Caitlin. Okay. 87 minutes. Haiti deserved the point, says AJS. Well, I don't think they do deserve a point because it's not like they've hit the post 4 times and the keeper's made worldies. They just haven't created the chances. Breaking. 2 men have been charged in connection with the theft of England's World Cup equipment. Mustafa Salik and Irfan Kamal have been charged with receiving stolen property after around £18,000 worth of England gear was allegedly taken. It's a lot of stuff, 18,000, isn't it? Apparently Bayern and Frankfurt have reached an agreement for Nathaniel Brown. It's 71-81 in the 4th of the NBA game. So the gap stays at 10 points. How many points do you get for putting it in the net in basketball? He's just got... You get 2 for that. For that. Okay. Thoughts on lasagna and chips? Oh, lovely, Greens. Absolutely love it. I think Scotland are going to get this done. I'm sure Scotland know the Qatar result. They have to be careful, says Ian Tracy. Yeah. If you didn't watch, well, I didn't really watch it. It was a bit of a crap game. But Qatar got a draw with Switzerland by scoring in stoppage time. Switzerland had about like 26 shots or something like that. How long will get added on? Well, a minimum of 3 minutes because the hydration breaks. Just waiting for the added time here. It's a throw in. 6 minutes added on. It's a terrible ball. Can Scotland get one on the break here? First name, last name says, I wanted Scotland to be brave and get 2 or 3, but a win's a win. Not going to be enough to get out of the group, though. It will be if you can get a draw out of Morocco or Brazil. 3 points, I don't know. We've never had a... the trouble is, we've never had a World Cup. We've never had a World Cup like this before, so we don't know what it takes to get through in 3rd place. 3 points might do it. How are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10? I'm definitely not. I definitely feel loads better than I did last night. That last half an hour in the USA game was hard. I'm looking forward to getting into bed, but I'm not like flagging. And tomorrow night's one's not as late because it's a midnight one, isn't it? Ivory Coast, Ecuador. So be like an early night tomorrow night, finishing at 2. Would you consider Bouhaddi at United as Rasla? Not based on the World Cup. I mean, if United were looking at Bouhaddi, then we should have been linked to him before a World Cup game, if you know what I mean. If Arsenal have already been linked to him, fair play. But you can't be scouting people based on just that. Alex says Fabrizio's got an update on Lewis Hall. If you'd like to tell us, that would be great. L99 says, do you do any gear to get you through? No. Should I sleep on the sofa tonight, says Caitlin. Zuta says you look dead. That's not very nice. Let's have a look at myself. I don't look that bad. Free kick to Haiti here. Still got 3.5 minutes left. Are you going to do Sweden against Tunisia? No, because it's on at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't think I'll do a game after 2 a.m. I don't think I'll do a game that starts after 2 a.m. I think I will set that as a limit. Cross into the box, not a very good one. Scotland clear it. Still 3 minutes to go. Next game for Haiti is Brazil. Ooh! Ooh, he fell over his own feet there. It was a nice flick on, and I think if he'd stayed on his feet, he might have had a good chance, but he went down. Hamza says, I'm not going to miss a World Cup game. It's been exhausting, but I've done 4 games today. Fair play. People are saying they tuned in to watch the manager of Morocco. You cheeky gets. There's not a quarter-final at 3 a.m, is there? I thought the latest quarter-final was... I'll have to check that tomorrow. Romano said United have got genuine interest in Lewis Hall. Well, we've known that for weeks. That's not anything. Elias on TikTok says Haiti are going to draw this. I don't think they will. I think Scotland will get this done. It's high tackle that. Could have got a red there. McLean. I think they are trying to say it should have been a red. He did catch him on the knee. But there is no review. Just done a big cheeky... Yeah, I'm not reading stuff like that out, Mike. That was the chance for Haiti, and it would have gone in if it had been on target. And I think he should have got it on target. I'm surprised they haven't reviewed it, because he did catch him high on the knee. But I suppose they thought, well, genuine attempt to win the ball. No Gomez for us. Stupid never lost when he scored, says Enzo. To be fair, I mean, Haiti are looking for a red card. I don't think it makes a massive amount of difference with how long he's left. It's a weird angle to try and put a cross in. You feel like that's absolutely shit. Yeah, night everybody. I think that sort of sums up Haiti's attack. I mean, they've got a chance to whip across in the box. They do some weird short corner, and then the Twatu goes central, so there's no angle to put the cross in, and then decides to shoot from 40 yards and misses completely. Dog shit, that was. Absolutely, for the last minute of game. But that's why Haiti won't win any games in this World Cup. They've played with a lot of heart, and at times they've played half decent football, but the quality is just not there. Yeah, just a lack of attack. Keeper's now just kicked it out for a throw-in as well. I mean, look, what I would say is we've spent a lot of time talking about Haiti in this game. What about Scotland? They've got the win, but they haven't really been that convincing themselves. We'll probably learn more about Scotland when they play Morocco and Brazil. But a win is a win. We're not there yet. As always, I just want to say thank you everybody who's tuned in to the stream today. Nearly 8,000 on YouTube again. And that is the final whistle. Why is that doing that? John McGinn. Yeah, that's getting on my tits, that phone. It's game over. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. We are back tomorrow. I'm on United Stand tomorrow, but not till midday because I'm going to have a bit of a sleep in. I'm not watching Australia against Turkey, obviously. Good luck to those who are. Fair play. Our next watch-along is 6 o'clock today now. Germany against Curacao. We're then doing 9 o'clock, the game I'm looking forward to, Netherlands against Japan. And then midnight, Ivory Coast against Ecuador. So 3 to come. Thank you everybody for tuning in and being with me on this late night stream. Plenty more to come in this World Cup. Was a bit of a shit game. I'm always going to be honest. Like I'm not paid by FIFA or the World Cup or anything like that. I'm just a fan like the rest of you who wants to enjoy this World Cup, and I am. I think as a spectacle, it's great. I think the stadiums are brilliant, but that was a shit game of football, and I think there's a resonating statement that somebody said tonight where I would completely leave it at this. I think tonight's game was an advert for why we never should have had 48 countries in this World Cup. It doesn't add anything to it. This is about money. This is about extra countries. And ultimately, the same with Qatar, Switzerland. It's just... It benefits some people, but it was a really shit game, you know? But that's what it is. But fair play to Scotland. I think, in fairness to Scotland, they just had to win that game. We'll learn about Scotland when they play Morocco and Brazil. Take care, everyone. Back with you tomorrow. Stay safe, and thanks for being part of the stream. Make sure you subscribe to the channel on your way out, by the way, because I don't know whether we hit 482, but thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in, and I will speak to you all tomorrow. If I can find a way to close the stream. Scottish fans are very happy anyway. They are. I mean, look, I don't think, for Scotland, it was just about winning.